Good, good morning. We are at, we just took a bus tour from Bayou to Mount Saint-Michel. Welcome to the Adams Family Travelers. Join us as we use our vacation days to travel around as much as we can and enjoy exploring the world. Make sure you join us on our adventures. So Mount Saint-Michel is an abbey that was built like in the 900s, and it's a World UNESCO Heritage Site. It's an island, so I'm really excited to go. It looks beautiful from what we've seen. So we're going to go over, it was about an hour and a half drive from Bayou, and we took it's a small group tour with Gold Beach Company. So behind me is Mont Saint-Michel. We are on the causeway. You can now get off the islands. You used to not be able to when it was high tide. It is high tide right now. It is just gorgeous here with the beginning of day. It's about 9:30. Beautiful sight. So we are on top of the, where you get to see the monastery. It was about 270 steps up. So just know that you could see the causeway behind me that they built, I think, approximately 25 years ago so that you can still cross, with the tide. Our tour guide said that, there's only about 5 days a year where, part of the causeway is cut off and the whole area is flooded and you have to wait about an hour to cross. So it's beautiful back there. The land back here is the region of Brittany. So this Mont Saint-Michel is in Normandy, and then the river separates it, and Brittany is back there. So behind me, you can see the monastery. The spire was added in like 1897, I believe she said. And basically, there's been 3 churches over the times, and they've been added. I think the monastery itself was like about there's rooms in here from the 1300s. They used the basement of the church that was the second church that was in the 900s. The first one was in the 700s, and they've just added to it along the years. So behind me is the bay of Mount Saint-Michel, and it will recede. She says it takes about 6 hours for the high tide to go out. And there are beaches here that our tour guide says she does not recommend you go on them. They're very dangerous, even when the low tide comes out. Basically, there are guided tours that you can take to walk on the beaches. There's quicksand on the beaches, so you need to be very careful because you can get stuck in the quicksand. So we are in the church, the monastery. This was built, so this is the third church, and this was built starting in 1023. It was finished like in the 1080s, and William the Conqueror was actually here for the dedication of this church. So today, this is still an active church. Monks came back around in 2001. So what happened when the French Revolution happened in the 1790s is that basically all the Benedictine monks that were here left the church or the monastery, and this was then turned into a prison for 70 years. And there were about 500 prisoners living in this monastery. And so now it is an active church, except for Mondays a day we're here. There are 3 services a day. There are 3 priests and 6 nuns, I believe, 9 church members, and there's 3 other people living on the island. So a total of 12 people live on the island full time. So behind me, you can see the arches. That's Romanesque architecture, which was big when this was built. There's been lots of fires and different things here. So behind me, the altar had collapsed, so that was rebuilt in the 14th century, and that is Gothic architecture. So there's a mix here. The stained glass that was taken out because for money during the French Revolution. Those are all reproductions from the 1980s. So some of this is still from the like 1000s. Some, and then there's stuff that are reproductions after that. But behind, you can definitely see the Gothic architecture, which is very pretty. So we are done with the monastery. It is behind me. So it was very big here for pilgrims to come and pilgrimage to the monastery. Like I said before, the Benedict monks lived here they're about 60 at a time. So the monks that were here, the Benedict monks, lived very strict life. They did farming, they transcribed manuscripts, because at the time the monks were really the educated people, but they had 72 rules that they had to live by. So behind me, you can see the village, and There's a ton of stores and restaurants here. It's known for the one store with omelets. The omelets are like $50. Our tour guide said it wasn't worth it. So she said there's really good crepes on the island. So we're going to do that for lunch. The other thing, so this island was never so in the 100-Year War, the English tried to take this and they couldn't because it's an island and the position was hard. And then the Nazis, there were about 100 Nazis here during World War II, but they left it once the Americans came to defend other areas, so this never got bombed. Also, all the stone they had to bring in when they built this, so it's pretty amazing. So I have a mulled wine. It's very hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. It smells really, really good though. It's great on this cold day. Because the monastery is not heated, so it was like we were outside for the whole 2-hour tour. And then we're getting crepes. Galette is essentially a buckwheat savory crepe. They're known for them in the Normandy region for the buckwheat crepes. I got a ham and cheese galette. So we are on the rampart, and you can see how much the tide has come out just in like 3 hours. So you can see how tall the causeway is behind me and how much the tide has lowered. We've had a great visit to Mont Saint-Michel. It's really neat to see the old monastery and the ramparts here. The crepes were really good, or the galettes. I got a ham and cheese galette and Brian got 3 cheese galette. The cheese in mine was Emmental. But it was a fantastic visit. We're gonna go now. We have like an 1.5-hour bus ride back. I also recommend we did Gold Beach Company from Bayou, and our tour guide Kate, she was fantastic. She had so much knowledge. We had like a 2-hour guided tour through the monastery, and I think there's audio guides if you don't have a tour, but I definitely think the guided tour is fantastic. We got so much detail about the building of the monastery, the monks that lived there, and the prison that was here after, and everything about Mont Saint-Michel. So you can see the causeway behind me. You can park in the visitor center. Our tour guide took us to the visitor center. There are buses there, or you can walk the causeway, which is about 35 minutes.